What's the worst sibilance you've ever heard?
Sadly.
That's the worst sibilance I've ever heard. This is part of the process I use for de-essing the worst sibilance issues you might run into. Okay, we have our file where we are going to use a notch filter.
Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally.
So when we listen to sadly, we can really hear it.
Sadly.
So when you're editing your audio, when you hear it, that is the first step in actually finding the harshest of the S's that you want to reduce. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up a notch filter. And one of the keys to this effect is that we can visualize in real time the frequency spectrum. But you can also create this effect using another EQ, something like a parametric EQ, and taking the Q value and making it an extremely high number so that it only affects a very tiny part of the frequency range. So we heard that hard S basically whistling. Let's isolate just that. Okay, right there, I've isolated it, and you can see right here, we're getting a huge spike. Pick one of the filters, set it to very narrow in this case, and just drag it down in real time while the loop is playing over so that you can hear the reduction in the sharp whistling sound. There you go, the sharpest part is removed. So in context, let's listen to the word sadly without the notch.
Sadly.
And with the notch.
Sadly.
Much smoother of an S. All right, that's how I use a notch filter to get rid of the worst part of the sibilance, and then I'll move on to the regular de-essing process.